Here is my digital resource analysis presentation. My first digital resource is readworks.org. And some of the pros for ReadWorks is they have differentiation options provided. So if you go to content, scope and sequence, you can select what kind of setting you want there, and then your grade. So I teach kindergarten, so I would like to choose kindergarten. And then it gives you a breakdown of the scope and sequence for each month of the school year. So if we go ahead and click into June, which is the month we're in now, they have 3 different weeks of activities and instruction that you could do with your kids. Most of the content on this website is nonfiction. It includes reading passages, something called Article a Day, and paired text. So if we click into just week 1 here of mammals, they have the different passages here. So there are, it looks like 7 passages for this week that you could read, and you can have your students read them on their own if they're able to, or you can have them listen by clicking the play button here, or you yourself can read it aloud to them. And that's just one part. And then there's the book of knowledge, where they would like students to write down things that they've learned from the article or that they want to remember. And there's also some decodables that students can practice reading as well. Going back to the passages, this is for the Article a Day portion of the website. They also have differentiation, so they call it the boost article or the challenge article. So it gives you a couple different options there as well. It could be a good resource, I think, to use in the classroom for early finishers. The only con that I have found on the website is that it is a little bit tricky to navigate when you're unfamiliar with it, as it's a new website. And you need a membership or an account to access the thing. So it is a free account, which is nice, but you do have to go through the process of creating that. You can also design classes on here, so you can put all of your students on so that they can access and then track their progress and assign them different things. The next resource that I chose to take a look at is called Reading Rockets. I found this website to be very user-friendly, and it provides lots of different resources for teachers and parents, which is nice, as sometimes parents, they need more support at home because they are not as knowledgeable in teaching reading and writing to their students. So they have the different tabs up here that you can click on and try to find what you're looking for. So if I was looking for something in the classroom, you can visit the overview, or they have it broken down on the side here. So you can take a look at, let's choose looking at writing. So you can scroll down and it gives you an article. It can give you different writing samples for each grade level, and what you should see for them for that age group. You can click on the different writing samples over here. I also like on this website that it has articles, but there are also videos that go along with certain topics. And there are also, if you go to the videos up at the top, you can access all of them, but there are also ways to get like webinars and video recordings from people in the field of reading who have done a lot of work there. The other thing I liked about this is it's got a wide range of topics, and it's research-based and completely free for anyone to use and access. My third resource that I chose to analyze today is called Unite for Literacy. Unite for Literacy is a free website, which is great. It's a great resource for all to use, and it has a variety of different books that are sorted into different topics and themes that you can click onto and read. There's also the option to have the story read aloud to you, which that took me a second to figure out how to navigate. But if you come down here, it has English, and then you click the little speaker icon, and it will read to you.
Busy Day by Jillian Depperman.
When you're ready to move on, you just click the little arrow on the side over there, and then you go through the process again of clicking to hear it read, or you can try and have students read on their own. This was another website that I thought would be a good early finisher activity or something to have students work on during literacy centers or like a literacy block when you're working with other groups of students. One of the cons I had with this site is there are no reading levels on the books, which would make it challenging for some students. Your readers would be fine with most of the books on the site, but struggling readers might not be able to use it as easily. And it's challenging to get back to the library. I think when you click that return, it did take you right there. Well, the first time I did it, it didn't. So I guess it is easy to navigate. But there are tons and tons of books. You can just keep scrolling, and then you can also navigate through those different themes. My fourth resource that I chose to analyze was PBS Kids Reading Games. PBS Kids is a very familiar website that a lot of parents use, but it took me a minute to figure out how you can sort into a certain type of game. So I chose to look at the reading section. In all of these games, they have familiar characters, and it's free. The games that I chose to explore prior to recording this, they were engaging and gave very clear directions, and they also used good vocabulary like you would use in the classroom. Specifically, when I explored the Pinkalicious Storymaker, they used words like the main idea, the setting, so different things that you are exposing children to as they're learning to read. When you go to a game, it automatically, I'll click on that one because I'm familiar with it. It automatically just starts talking and telling you what to do once you click the play button. So I'll show you part of that.
Incredible Storymaker. Use your imagination to make your own Pincredible story. Tap to choose the star of the story, your main character.
So it gives those very clear directions. You can also include the closed caption so that your student is seeing the words go across the screen. When you finish, this is one of the cons for this website. So when you click out of that X, it doesn't bring you back to the screen with all of the reading games. It just brings you back to that show or that character's web page. So to navigate back, it took a little time. You had to go back to the home page of PBS Kids and click on games. If you scroll down, you can do all topics, and then that's where you can specify that you want the reading game. So that could be something that could be bookmarked on student computers so that they're not having to navigate through all of those steps each time. So that was really the only con, was getting back here and specifying those reading games if that is what you want students to be working on. My final resource that I chose to take a look at was Epic. I had used Epic in the past a little bit, but never really dove too much into it and have not used it in years, which is why I thought I would explore it again. So Epic is nice because it's free, and you can track student progress and assign books for them. So I have a class in here, and you can view your students to track their daily reading, logs, assignments, and quizzes to see how they're doing. When you go back to the home page, if you scroll down, you can start to explore different topics. So mine are kindergarten because I'm a kindergarten teacher. So by clicking on that, so if you wanted to assign something on fairy tales, if that's what you're working on, it goes and gives you a whole bunch of books that are fairy tales that would be appropriate for your grade level. I have mine in the Lexile for beginning readers, just because that's where most of my students start off the year. But I could, as they become they become better readers, switch that so it would show different levels as well. So make sure that the reading on here is appropriate for them. So once you choose a story, they also give you that little note there that it can be read to them, or like Cinderella, Zelda, it's not read to them, but I believe you can click on words and it will tell you what they are if you don't know. And here you can use that assign button. You can give instructions if you want to write a note, which would be challenging with the grade level I teach because most are not reading. When they start the school year, you can select a date that you want it to show up on their profile. And you can also select if you'd like there to be a quiz at the end of the book, which is a nice feature, and it gives you the option to preview the quiz. So you can check and make sure the questions are targeting what you would want students to be answering. You can, when assigning to a student, assign to the class or select certain students so you can break it up into those different reading levels. The only real big con with Epic is that it is only available Monday through Friday during school hours, so it can't be shared with families, which is a bummer, unless your school pays for that school membership, and then I believe it can be used at any time throughout the day. But yeah, so this is a good resource, and then once students are on, I think they would be able to navigate pretty easily. And here it does talk about that after 3 p.m. you can have that School Plus like I talked about, or families could choose to buy a subscription on their own if they wanted to use this as well. The website also has some different resources where you can join different groups to learn more tips and tricks, which is also a nice feature as well. So I hope you enjoyed this screencast of some literacy websites that I thought would be useful in my classrooms. Thank you.